Hello Southside, and welcome to MAV News Monthly, where we aim to bring you student-based coverage from around campus. I'm Jacob Weaver.
And I'm Emily Fincher. Hey Jacob, I really like your Southside mask. Where'd you pick it up?
Thank you. I actually got it from a student council fundraiser. Like the student council, many clubs and organizations are having a difficult time making adjustments to COVID restrictions.
Yes, all the clubs that I'm involved with are also having some adjustments this year.
Let's take a look at our first story where we dive deeper into this issue.
All throughout high school, everyone tells you to be as involved in as many extracurricular clubs and organizations as you can be. So what happens when those same organizations just aren't what they used to be due to the pandemic? The coronavirus pandemic has had quite a significant impact on clubs, such as the Student Council, who currently have the difficult task of planning socially distanced spirit events.
Basically, to divvy up all of the responsibilities, we've created different committees with different leaders in student council as heads of those committees, and that's just going to help things get done more efficiently.
Although the student council officers have been planning their events as efficiently as they can, there is still a great challenge when it comes to getting students together in person.
I think the most difficult part of adapting so far has been with spirit and like pep rallies, because that was a huge thing that student council used to do, and that was like a huge chunk of student council really. So without those it's very awkward, but we're adapting fine. We're doing like virtual pep rallies and like things like that.
Volunteerism has also been a big issue when it comes to COVID-19, where some students and staff simply don't feel safe or comfortable going out. As you can imagine, this has put quite the burden on our more volunteer-oriented groups, such as Habitat for Humanity.
The worst part about the COVID pandemic is that it doesn't allow us to do what we do, which is volunteer. Habitat for Humanity at a national level has decided that they will not allow volunteers to come in and build. So besides volunteering, another thing would be fundraising. But Shantytown, our biggest fundraiser, is still kind of up in the air. We're not sure what exactly we're going to do. And the only other ideas we thought about is maybe doing some sort of drive-through fundraiser at Slim Chickens, or maybe any other business that would be willing to help us.
As of now, the best way of preventing COVID-19 has been going virtual, and the Southside Art Club has come up with a creative way of combating the restrictions while getting to express themselves artistically and keep the club alive this year.
Art Club usually meets physically as a group after school twice a month, and with the situation with COVID this year, it's just not really a feasible way to do it. It's not safe enough. We're not comfortable putting kids in a situation where we're meeting after school in large groups, and we're also not comfortable going out to the community, promising we could do things, and then maybe having students and parents not comfortable, and then our workers not show up. So we decided to put it on hold for the year, and then some students came in with some ideas because they still wanted to keep in touch, keep creating. So they said, what if we do some virtual challenges, do it through GroupMe, communicate through GroupMe and Schoology. We can still communicate versus, getting together and physically doing things.
With the pandemic going around, you typically want to avoid larger groups. So what does that mean for some of our larger organizations here at Southside? Over the summer, the band got some pretty strict guidelines to follow in regards to COVID-19.
The COVID procedures for the band are, we definitely got to be masked up, and so you ask, how do we play an instrument with mask? Well, we've had to, put slits in our mask for all the different instruments. Like flutes have to have a little flap thing that works, and so we had to get real creative with that.
One student, who found that cutting holes in her face mask seemed a little counterproductive, came up with a creative solution when playing with a mask on.
And can you show us how the mask that you made works?
You just open it up like this. You can put the mouthpiece there, and then when you're done playing, you just kind of put it back together. And so it just comes apart, makes it a little bit easier. My manager at work, I was talking to her about how I had to wear a slitted mask, and she said that she made a mask once where she did it like a pillowcase, the back of a pillowcase, and so I was like, oh, I could make something like that, so that's where I got the idea.
Every year, the band's students practice hard for an elaborate marching show, which is performed at every halftime game. But due to mandated social distancing, a full marching show just isn't possible this year.
We have to be social distance of 6 feet with all the instruments. When we first started in this process, flutes had to be 12 feet apart, and trombones had to be like 9 feet apart, and then the rest could be 6. And it's graduated down to 6 for everybody. And as you can imagine, trying to put the band normally march formations and drill to make a marching show, there's no way you could do that now this year with, those restrictions and constraints of space. So it's created a whole different situation for this year. The kids have to be resilient about it, and they've done a great job.
Despite all the restrictions that COVID-19 has placed on our clubs and organizations here at Southside, students and advisors are working hard to ensure that everyone has the same opportunities as before.
We all know that the COVID-19 has hit the clubs here at Southside pretty heavily, but let's take a look at how it is affecting the places that we eat. Do you feel safe going out to eat yet? Why or why not?
I do, because I feel like, everybody wears their mask and stays away from each other. I think it's okay to go eat.
Do you feel safe going out to eat at restaurants yet? Why or why not?
I don't feel safe going to restaurants because not a lot of people wear the mask there, and their policy there is that as long as you eat, you get to not wear it.
So you do feel safe eating at restaurants yet?
Yeah, as long as I keep my mask on until I need to eat or drink, I feel pretty good.
I don't. I still feel like the pandemic is still a widespread thing right now. I don't feel like it's safe to really go out and eat into restaurants.
The safety and ethics of reopening restaurants has been in question ever since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Despite this, however, restaurant workers are being as resilient as they can, with some eager to get back to work.
So you'd have split jobs over, you'd have to focus on the lobby, and then sometimes you'd have to focus on the lobby and working outside as well. Now they're just taking the lobby out of it. I remember there was a time right when COVID hit, we just put a ping pong table right in the lobby, and we would have ping pong tournaments there, so that was kind of fun.
It's not as simple as just reopening though, with many restaurants having to make some big changes to how they run their daily operations, with a heavy emphasis on drive-through and curbside ordering from fast food.
Oh yes, very busy, lots of curbside orders, lots of drive-through orders. It was stressful at first, but everybody's still working very hard, very good team-oriented. Everybody's still having a great time. So
it's just everything's focused mainly on drive-through. So actually right now we're starting to build a canopy over the drive-through. So we're trying to make that go as fast as possible. And I'd say I kind of like it because it lets us focus on one center idea.
Whether you feel safe to eat at restaurants or not, workers want to emphasize that they are taking every precaution necessary to ensure everyone's safety. Now, here's your weekend recap.
All right, so currently I'm standing outside on this beautiful Friday afternoon. Right now we have a high of 70 and a low of 50 with a nice, beautiful fall breeze, keeping things nice and temperate throughout the day.
The cool fall weather will continue into the weekend through early next week, with the highs averaging the mid-70s and the lows ranging from 49 to 55. Are you interested in joining the Mav Media broadcast team? If so, please stop by room 125 during Flex next Friday, October 9th. We are always looking for great people to join our team, so if you have an interest in reporting, anchoring, or anything video related, please stop by. If you cannot make this meeting, please email mavmediabroadcast@gmail.com and we will work something out.
Entering the second year, the Southside Esports team is kicking off the year to a great start, despite all the COVID chaos going on.
In some sense, it's only affected maybe some of our policies on how we do tryouts and how we hold practices, but on others, we're still able to compete.
Doesn't really do much. All we have to do is just kind of wear masks and make sure we're kind of social distancing and stuff and keeping everyone safe.
As said, the students are still required to wear masks and social distance, as well as restrict the amount of students present at each game. When gaming, the players are allowed to take off their masks for better communication. Additionally, the players are allowed to compete from home thanks to the internet. With that, esports has virtually remained the same with very little changes. However, with one adversity dealt with, there come others.
There was a brief period of time where we were hoping that we would be able to compete in Overwatch and Fortnite. Unfortunately, the AAA decided that they were not going to allow students to compete in those games.
There were many Southside students trying out for Overwatch and Fortnite. Many players flocked to try to get a spot on the team a couple of weeks back. But they were faced with the news that AAA has dropped support for the two games with seemingly no real explanation. Hopefully, the future brings back competition in these games. One of the current competitive games, League of Legends, seems to hold a bright future for our players.
I think we've got some really good competitors. We had obviously an amazing season last year.
We hope to make it to state championship again. I think we will.
I think it's possible. It's going to be a lot harder than it was last year since everyone's a bit more experienced. You know, we lost 3 of our teammates who were seniors last year, but it's a possibility.
Yet, the future seems to have some shortcomings. While they are able to play competitively, COVID has caused a reduction in funding for organizations in general.
We don't get as good of equipment as like Northside per se, or like some of the other schools. The computers in there are just kind of leftovers that are available, because that means that other teams have an edge on us that we don't get to have.
Mostly we hope that we get like better situation so we can maybe like perform at our best.
I know that the district wants to put a lot of emphasis on boosting esports, but what we're looking for right now is sort of the funding to back that up. And I know that's been kind of cut district-wide with federal funds sort of being pulled back significantly for Southside and other schools, but we're looking to expand as much as we can. The biggest thing is getting more students involved, talking about it on social media, watching the streams, and basically showing the district as evidence that, hey, there's hundreds of kids that are interested in this and that are competing and watching and participating, and this is something that you need to be investing in.
There are many great ways to support our esports team. The team is open for those who play League of Legends, Rocket League, and Smite. The team welcomes anyone interested in video production as well as casting for the streams. Contact Mr. Lehman at jlehman@fortsmithschools.org in room 245 if you're interested in helping out. Catch the streams on Twitch at SHS Maverick Esports and follow the team on Instagram and Twitter with the same handle. From Mav Media, I'm Theavan Saitang.
Hello Mavericks, my name is Gabby Sullivan, and today we decided to do an experiment. We bought two kinds of Germex, a cheap brand from Walmart and one a bit more expensive, and we decided to see whether people could tell the difference. Okay, what's your name?
I'm Polly Hong. Crystal Boylan.
Jonathan Rosas.
Eli. Phoenix View.
Okay, so we're here with Mr. Arnold, and we are going to do today is we have two Germexes. One is like a really good value brand, and the other one is like from Walmart. So we're going to see if you can like tell the difference between the both of them.
Okay.
So here's the first one.
What does it smell like? What's it look like?
Feels like hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
It has a nice smell. It smells pretty good.
Okay.
Smells kind of like fruity. Fruity?
It smells like blueberries. No glitter.
No glitter.
Fruit, like grapes.
Both kind of fruity smelling.
And then here's the second one.
Now, if you could describe how it smells, maybe the weird texture to it.
It's fruity, just kind of typical Germex feel. So.
What's it kind of smell like? Your nose is now clean.
It has a different texture. Don't know how to describe it, but it does feel different.
It kind of smells the same, but it had like the little glitter things in it.
Okay, all right. It also had some glitter in it. I noticed that.
Okay.
It has the little blue balls from the jigs on it.
So which one do you think is the name brand and which one's
I guess this one is the name brand now.
That is correct.
Okay.
Good job.
So I think that one was from Bath & Body Works and the other one was Walmart.
Alrighty, so that one's actually right. You were right there.
The second one.
Second one? Okay, so that is actually correct.
I'm gonna guess this is the high quality Germex.
That's actually not, that's right. That one we got from Walmart.
Okay, well, it's worth a try.
Yeah.
Probably the second one.
The second one?
Yeah.
And why do you think?
Because of the little things. Yeah.
Yeah, so that one is correct. So you were right there.
All right, I'm gonna say the first one was the more expensive one.
That is correct. So there you have it. The next time you want to know if your hand sanitizer is high class, the beads are a dead giveaway. With Mav Media, I'm Gabby Sullivan.
That's all we have for you today on this edition of Mav News Monthly. Be sure to use your hand sanitizer, wear your mask, and tune in next month where we find out what's scarier than COVID-19. Thanks for watching.